kingdom, vibrant and green, nestled beneath towering mountains. A baby girl, Snow White, born with skin like fresh snow, her lips a delicate rose petal hue, her hair dark as ebony. A loving queen, her mother, cradled her gently. Years passed, marked by joy and royal duties. Then, a somber day, the Queen's funeral procession. Snow White, a small figure, wept beside her father. The king, heartbroken, sought comfort in a new marriage. A beautiful yet cold-eyed woman became the new queen. She possessed an enchanted mirror, her most prized possession. Each day she'd ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of all?" The mirror always affirmed her unparalleled beauty. Snow White grew, her grace blossoming with each passing year. Her kindness shone, endearing her to all in the castle. The queen's jealousy, a dark seed, began to sprout. She watched Snow White with increasing resentment. One morning, the queen approached her magic mirror again. Her usual question, her confident smile. The mirror's surface shimmered, then spoke with a new tone. "Queen, you are fair, it is true, but Snow White is fairer than you." The queen's face contorted with fury, her beauty marred by rage. She slammed her fist onto a nearby table. Her eyes burned with a dangerous, vengeful fire. She summoned her most loyal huntsman. His face, grim and weathered, showed no emotion. The queen's voice, low and menacing, gave a terrible command. "Take Snow White deep into the forest and kill her. Bring me her heart as proof of your deed." The huntsman's hand trembled slightly, a flicker of doubt. He led Snow White into the ancient, whispering woods. Snow White, innocent and trusting, followed without question. Deeper and deeper they walked, sunlight fading through the canopy. The huntsman raised his dagger, his heart heavy. He saw Snow White's pure, innocent eyes looking up at him. He could not commit such a heinous act. His hand dropped, the dagger clattering to the forest floor. "Run, Snow White, flee into the forest," he urged. "Never return to the castle, or the queen will find you." Snow White, terrified, turned and ran blindly. Branches whipped at her face, thorns tore at her dress. She stumbled through the dense undergrowth, tears streaming. The forest grew darker, filled with unknown sounds. Exhausted and lost, she collapsed by a mossy log. Through the trees, a faint light flickered. She rose, hope rekindled, and followed the distant glow. A tiny, charming cottage appeared in a clearing. Its windows glowed warmly, inviting her in. She pushed open the small wooden door. Inside, 7 tiny chairs, 7 tiny beds. The cottage was messy, but felt safe and welcoming. Later, 7 small figures entered, carrying picks and shovels. The 7 dwarfs, surprised, found Snow White asleep. They listened to her story, their faces filled with pity. They offered her refuge, a safe haven from the Queen. In return, she would cook and clean for them. Snow White, grateful, accepted their kind offer. A new, temporary home, deep within the forest's embrace. The dwarfs, her protectors, her new family. A fragile peace, far from the Queen's cruel reach. But the forest held secrets, and dangers still lurked. Snow White found sanctuary with the 7 kind dwarfs. She helped with chores, bringing joy to their tiny cottage. Each day, she sang sweet melodies, filling their home with light. The dwarfs adored her, their lives brightened by her presence. Meanwhile, the vain Queen consulted her magic mirror once more. The mirror glowed, its voice echoing in the silent hall. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of all? The mirror replied, Snow White, far in the forest, is still the fairest. A chilling rage consumed the Queen's beautiful face. Her eyes narrowed, plotting a sinister, final revenge. She clenched her fists, her knuckles white with fury. She locked herself away in a secret, dark chamber. Ancient spellbooks lay open on a dusty table. With dark magic, she transformed her appearance completely. Her regal robes became a tattered peddler's cloak. Her youthful face wrinkled, her hair turned wispy grey. She became an old, hunched woman, barely recognizable. Her voice deepened, a raspy, unfamiliar sound. Next, she prepared a basket of ripe red apples. One apple, the most tempting, held a deadly secret. She dipped half of it into a bubbling green potion. The poisoned side glowed faintly, a wicked allure. Her wicked cackle filled the cold stone room. The Queen, disguised, ventured deep into the forest. She found the dwarf's cottage, nestled among the trees. Smoke curled gently from its small chimney. Snow White was alone, humming as she cleaned. A knock at the door startled her gentle work. The dwarfs had warned her, "Beware of strangers." But Snow White's kind heart was too trusting. She peered through the window, seeing only an old woman. She opened the door, seeing only a frail old woman. The peddler offered her basket of shiny apples. "Taste one, my dear," the old woman croaked softly. Snow White hesitated, remembering the dwarf's words. The poisoned apple looked so perfect, so inviting. Its skin gleamed, a vibrant, irresistible red. She took a bite from the rosy, tempting fruit. A sudden, sharp pain seized her innocent heart. Her eyes widened in shock, then slowly closed. The apple fell from her limp fingers to the floor. Snow White collapsed, falling into a deep, death-like slumber. The Queen's cruel smile widened, her mission accomplished. She vanished into the forest, leaving Snow White lifeless. Later, the 7 dwarfs returned from their mine. Their pickaxes clinked softly as they approached. They found Snow White, pale and still, on the floor. Their joyful chatter turned to cries of despair. They tried everything to revive their beloved friend. But she remained motionless, her breath gone. Her beauty, however, remained untouched by death. Her skin like snow, her lips like roses, her hair like ebony. They couldn't bear to bury such a radiant being. With heavy hearts, they crafted a coffin of pure glass. They laid Snow White gently inside on a bed of silk. The glass coffin was placed on a forest clearing. They watched over her, mourning their profound loss. Forest creatures joined their silent vigil. Snow White lay, a timeless vision of slumbering grace. Her story, however, was far from over. Snow White lay still, encased in glass. Her beauty, untouched, captivated the forest. The dwarfs, silent, watched over her. Days turned into weeks, then months. Sunlight dappled through the leaves onto her coffin. A prince, on horseback, rode through the wood. He was searching for adventure, or perhaps love. His eyes caught a glimmer in the distance. He dismounted, approaching the clearing cautiously. There he saw the glass coffin. Inside, Snow White, like a sleeping angel. He was instantly mesmerized by her ethereal grace. The dwarfs emerged, their faces etched with sorrow. They recounted Snow White's tragic tale. The prince's heart ached with profound sympathy. He felt an undeniable connection to her. He knelt beside the coffin, a silent vow forming. He requested to take Snow White to his castle. The dwarfs, though hesitant, agreed. They knew she deserved a grander resting place. The prince's men carefully lifted the heavy coffin. They began their slow, respectful journey. The forest path was uneven, full of roots. Suddenly, one man stumbled on a tree root. He cried out, losing his footing momentarily. The coffin jolted violently, tipping sideways. Snow White's body shifted within the glass. A small piece of apple dislodged from her throat. It was the poisoned fragment, finally expelled. She gasped, a soft, fragile sound. Her eyelids fluttered open, revealing azure eyes. The prince stared, disbelief warring with joy. Snow White looked around, confused but alive. The dwarfs erupted in cries of happiness. Tears streamed down their weathered faces. The prince helped Snow White from her coffin. He explained her long, enchanted sleep. He spoke of his instant love, his admiration. Snow White, touched, smiled radiantly. Her heart, pure and kind, felt a new warmth. The prince, emboldened, proposed marriage. Snow White, without hesitation, accepted. News of her awakening spread like wildfire. The kingdom rejoiced at her return. Preparations began for a magnificent wedding. The jealous queen, hearing the news, raged. Her magic mirror confirmed Snow White's happiness. The queen's evil heart burst with fury. She met a just, terrible end for her cruelty. Snow White and the prince married in splendor. The dwarfs attended, beaming with pride. Their love story became a legend. Snow White's goodness triumphed over malice. Her inner beauty shone brighter than any jewel. She ruled with kindness and compassion. Her happiness was boundless and true. The kingdom prospered under her gentle hand. She always remembered the dwarf's loyalty. Her reign was long and filled with peace. True beauty, she proved, endures forever.